lesson learned. I cannot do this. I don't want to do this. It is Hello, sweet friends. I hope you are well. I am so excited for today's video because today I finally am carving out some time to add a few updates to this study. As you can tell from the title, this is a part 2. In part 1, I showed you an empty room tour. We had just moved in, so I wanted to give you a little lay of the land and show you what the room looked like. And then we unpacked some books, got those onto the shelves without any rhyme or reason. They're kind of just random at the moment, but we got those up on the shelves. And then we also put up a little bit of decor here on the fireplace that you see behind me. I put up a few picture frames just to start making it feel a little cozy. And then I also unpacked my desk here and got some of my stationery out just so that I could at least keep working and keep moving forward. I knew that this room was going to take a little bit of time to get all the pieces together, and I kind of have enjoyed this process, this much slower process than I'm used to. I'm usually used to just getting everything right when we move in, getting everything set up, and I realized in this slower pace of life that actually there's a lot of benefit to living in a space for a little bit, seeing how you feel, seeing what pieces of furniture are actually necessary or what might actually look good. It's been nice to kind of, think through a few things instead of just jumping straight in when we moved in. So even though this is not how my perfectionist mind usually works, I've actually really enjoyed going a little bit slower with it. So that's what we're doing in today's video. It's a part 2. We're just gonna continue to add and chip away. Even after today, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be exactly as I want it. There's still going to be a few furniture pieces missing, a few decor items missing, but I'm just enjoying this season of life where we just chip away slowly and we take away the pressure from everything needing to be perfect and set up and, just at its end state. I'm learning to enjoy the journey a little bit more. So today, what do we have on the agenda? Today, I thought we could test out some wallpaper. So I got some wallpaper that I want to throw up, and I have 4 different kinds. I just wanted to get an idea and a feel for a few different styles and colors. And then I have these couple of boxes over here that have been there literally since we moved in last November. I don't know what the mental roadblock is. I have no idea why they're continuing to sit on the floor. But in this video, I'm motivated to unpack those and get rid of them. There's literally 3 things in it. I truly do not understand why they've been sat there this whole time. But in any case, we are getting rid of them today. And then I also, so in the spirit of living somewhere and testing things out before permanently settling in, I keep looking at this room and wondering if the orientation of the desk is in the right place. When I sit at my desk, it's lovely to look out the window and have the view. It's so stunning. But then sometimes I think when I look over to the side and I see the fireplace, I'm like, oh, would it be nice to face the fireplace and have it be cozier? Because I could still see the view to the side, but would it be nice to actually face the fireplace? So I was thinking, in my mind, when I get these ideas, even though I know they might turn out to be terrible, it's I can't put it to bed until I actually try it out and see for myself that it is in fact a terrible idea. So what we're gonna do, I think, is test out moving this desk over here to face the fireplace. And we'll see how that looks, and we'll see if that either makes the room cozier or more just balanced. I don't know. I just want to see what it would be like. So let's do that. And then I also have a few little decor knickknacks on my shelves. I don't think today, at least I am thinking this, I don't know, we'll see what happens when I get going. I don't think I'll have time to full-blown organize the books the way I want them. I do know that I kind of want to stylize them a little bit more, make them a little prettier. I have a few little decor pieces here that we can try to put up. I have this cute little crochet hanging plant that I also want to put up that I got at the farmer's market recently. So a few things going on with the bookshelves. We'll see what happens. I do want to organize them a little bit more, but again, just a work in progress. we'll see how we go. And then I want to show you a few different ideas I had for this huge comfy chair that I'm thinking of getting for this corner. So lots to do, lots to get down to. I am so excited to finally be putting a little bit more time and energy into this space, which is my little cozy corner of the world where I love to run away and quiet the external noise and just get super comfortable and just lean into, you know, hearing my own inner thoughts and yeah, just having this cozy little space. So I'm glad I've been intentional with it. I'm glad I've taken my time, and today is just another one of those next step progress days. So let's get into it.
I will get close to your heartache if you won't open your door. I'm feeling kinda lost when your mind is hiding.
Let's start with the wallpaper because that is what I am most excited for. I'm so tired of looking at these dark blue walls. I mean, I think it does add a nice contrast, but I think the wallpaper is going to be so stunning and make the room a little bit more feminine, which is what I want. I just want, you know, to walk in here and feel super feminine energy, but also like a little dramatic as well. So the first one I have here is this black silhouette peony style wallpaper. This was the original one I wanted to do, and I was just gonna go with this and slap it on the walls and get going, but I thought, you know what, it's probably smart to compare a few other ideas. So I have a couple more. I have this floral kind of wallpaper. It's a little bit more subtle. It has like light greens and pinks in here and a lot of beige as well, because my idea is I want it to be a feminine pink room, and that's going to be the main accent. But because this home also has so much greenery around it and in general just feels very warm tone, I also want to make sure to incorporate some of those like nude earth tones, which is very new for me because I'm a girly that has always traditionally been more of a cool tone girl with like grays and blues and that type of color palette. So I'm really excited to switch it up a little bit and lean towards a little bit more of the beiges and the earth tones and warm and natural tones. So that's why I got that one. This other one here is also in keeping with like that floral type of vibe, but it's a little bit more, the colors are a little bit more pigmented. They're a little darker. And I thought this one might be kind of cool because it has like these accents of red. And I didn't know if that pop of color might be kind of nice and, you know, like a good contrast without having too much pink in this room. So I got that one as well. And then this last one is just like a normal beige kind of leaf pattern. I actually, now that I'm looking at it, I don't think this is going to be the vibe in this room. It's pretty, but it's not quite the feminine look that I want. I think I might save this for a different part of the house, maybe like our powder room, bathroom, or somewhere else that I'm trying to bring a little bit more warmth into. So we'll leave that one alone, but I have these three, and what I think I'm going to do is start with this big wall over here. And the idea today is I just want to get a piece of each one up so that I can kind of see how I feel with it in this space. And I want to live with it for like a day or two, and I want to really, really make sure that I'm picking the right one. And I also want to see just how it goes with me attempting to do this. I have never wallpapered a room. I could go terribly wrong and it be a complete disaster, or I might have a knack for it. So I feel like if I start with one sheet of just, you know, one row, it'll give me an idea of how the process is going. I've done so stunning. I actually love this one. Oh, I just think it could be like such a dramatic look. And I know it's black and I'm not really going for black things, but I feel like if I add like gold tones to it, so if I put up this like large gold mirror and have some frames, I have a few extra on the floor over there, that we could use. And if I just accent it with like gold and warmer tones, I think that could look really nice against the black. So love that one. Okay, this one's not bad. It's not as dramatic of an impact as when I opened the other one. I mean, I think it could still kind of look pretty in this room if I wanted to have a more delicate vibe, whereas the other one was like way more dramatic. This one feels a little bit more delicate, but still pretty. I mean, let's see what it looks like on the wall before we make up our mind. I can tend to do that. I can be very about first impressions rather than waiting to see the final product. I think this one has a little bit too much blue, actually, to be honest. And for some reason, these like little red flowers or buds, they are reminding me a little bit too much of Christmas. So, okay, maybe not this one. Let's just try the first two. This one we might have to return because it's like holly. It's almost like Christmas holly, I think. Yeah, it's a little too Christmassy. And also a little bit too much blue, I think. I'm trying to get rid of the blue in this room and, you know, just keep it very feminine. So yeah, no go on this one. Let's try out these two, get it on the wall, and see how we feel. Atrocious. Why do I think I can do this? Okay, it's up. It is terrible. I have put so many bubbles in this thing, and yeah, I don't know why I thought I could do this. I mean, we all love an independent woman moment, but I don't think this is my jam. So I might actually have to hire somebody to do it properly, especially in all the nooks and crannies. But I'm glad I did this because it's giving me an idea for how it's gonna look, and I'm just so in love with this one. I don't even want to bother with putting the other one up, but since we already have it, let's just go ahead and try. And I think what I'll do is maybe put it on the opposite side of this wall so that it's not too busy with this and we can actually properly see what it would look like with the white. So yeah, let me go put that on the other side and do just as terrible of a job with that one too, but at least it's giving us an idea of what it could potentially look like. This one definitely feels way thinner as well. Like that one feels like much better quality. It was a little bit thicker. I don't know. Leaning pretty heavily towards that one, but let's do our due diligence and at least try. Both of those samples on the wall, and lesson learned, I cannot do this. I don't want to do this. It is actually a very tedious process to get all the bubbles out, and it can be quite frustrating. I can see how it could be maybe a mindful activity if you really just focus on it, but I don't know. it's not really my favorite thing to do. So we might have to hire somebody to help us, especially because some of these other walls have tiny little nooks and crannies, and I don't know if there are like special tools that you need. So yeah, we might just have to outsource this, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna order the rolls and then maybe I'll feel inspired to just go really slowly and do it myself. But I think I definitely want to go with that one. It's just so beautiful, and I think it'll really work with the dramatic vibe that I want in here, because all the accents I want to be super feminine and soft. So I think that'll be quite a nice contrast to have the drama from the silhouette, but then accented with really soft pinks and cozy tones, neutrals, some soft beiges. I think that could work really well. And like I said, that one is much more durable, it seems. It's really high quality. The paper was a lot thicker than this one is. This one is quite thin, so up close you can actually kind of see the blue behind it still, the blue wall color that's on the walls right now. So that just tells me that that paper is a little bit more thin, and I don't know how it would hold up over the years, especially when I hang frames on it, I hang a mirror on it, just different things. I don't know if it would last, and I also just don't love the design as much. I don't think it's as pretty or dramatic. I'll give you a close-up here. So let's get a little closer. So you see it's pretty. It's not ugly or anything. I do like the pinks in there, but I don't know if you can tell on camera. You can kind of see behind in the white parts some of that blue wall color coming through. So it makes it quite dark and almost a little bit dingy. Just that kind of down vibe. Yeah, it looks kind of almost a little bit unclean, like it's not, like it needs a good wiping or something, but that may just be the design of the paper. But yeah, I don't know, I don't feel like it's not giving what I want it to give, especially when you compare it to this one, and this one is just so stunning. Like, I just think it could be so beautiful when done across the whole thing, and then to have gold accented accessories. And it kind of plays off of some of the silhouette art I have here. I might have to move it just to balance it all out, but I just think it looks stunning, and I think it could look quite good in this whole room, add that super feminine touch. So yeah, I think we're gonna go with that one. I'm going to order several more rolls. I don't know how many I'm gonna need, and then I'll maybe also look into seeing if I could hire somebody to do this. Okay, I think the next thing I want to get to is moving my desk. I want to see what it would look like if I oriented it this way, like in front of that closet door facing the fireplace instead of facing outwards right now like it is. I have a feeling this is going to be a terrible idea and I'm not going to love it, but like I said, I have one of those brains where I can't rest easy until I've tried the thing, seen that it's actually terrible with my own eyes, and then put it to bed. So once and for all, let me just live this out and shut my cuckoo brain off and tell it that it's not a good idea. But you never know. What if we move it over there and actually looks kind of good? So let's give it a try and see what happens. Turn the desk like by dragging it. I'm not sure how I'm going to do the rug. The not so smart part of my brain is telling me to just turn the rug with the desk on it and hope for the best. Let's just try. Maybe I'll move the desk to the middle of the room, and then, oh, that will be easier to turn it. We're just winging this on a hope and a prayer. Okay, that's quite heavy. Maybe I do need to take the desk off and then move the rug and move the desk back on. I was just trying to find a shortcut method, but I don't think there's a shortcut method when the desk is this heavy. I kind of like it. I feel like it opened up this whole space by the fireplace because before it felt quite cramped walking around it. So I'm not actually that mad about it. And I was thinking, is it going to be weird because it's blocking the doors to the closet? But there's plenty of space back there, and I actually don't really mind it that much. You still have a lot of room to open it. The weird thing about this room is that there's so many doors. I don't understand. There's the two hobby doors, hobby closet doors, and then you have this other door that goes like into our living room, and then there's the other door on the other side that also goes out into the hallway, and then there's like a door over here that goes into a separate part of the house. This room has 5 doors alone. I don't understand it. So navigating the doors is kind of interesting, and there's also this big bay window, there's a fireplace. I feel like there's a lot going on in this room, so trying to find the balance of what would look the best is what has me thinking about these different setups. And honestly, I kind of like it. Like here you see, this is the view from before when I was looking out at the windows, and that was beautiful. But again, like I said, kind of cramped by the fireplace. But now I feel like the view of the fireplace is really nice and really pretty to look at. But then I can also turn to the side and look outside as well. So it's almost like I'm getting 2 views now instead of before it was really kind of like 1.5 because the fireplace was obstructed. So I don't know, maybe I just need to live with all of this for a little bit, like the wallpaper, the desk, the orientation. Maybe I just need to sit with this for a couple of days, come in and out of the room, sit at my desk, do some work. Maybe that will help me understand how I feel about the space, and then we can go from there. Okay, I think while I have some energy and the momentum is going, let's just get through unpacking these boxes. I feel like that was actually the main thing I wanted to get done today, was just getting rid of these boxes. Like I said, I don't know why they've been sat here the whole time, but let me just dump everything out. Most of it probably goes in that hobby closet, which by the way is a nightmare. It is an actual nightmare in there. That's gonna be a whole separate activity, a whole separate day. It might even take a whole weekend, but we definitely need to go and organize that thing because it's a bit of a jump scare when you open those doors. So different problem for a different day. Today, let's just get these unpacked and get stuff out of here. This tote is actually kind of cute. We used to use it for my son when he was a baby to carry things around the house when we were in one place over the other. I actually think maybe it might be quite a cute little like hobby caddy, like when I want to take things around to different parts of the house. Or sometimes when I want to do like a hobby in bed, it's always so hard to like carry like my coloring stuff or, you know, my annotations or whatever other little hobby. So maybe we could repurpose this little caddy as a little hobby caddy. Pleasantly surprised with how much I love this setup. I did not realize that it was going to make the room feel so much more open and airy. I thought it was going to actually be the opposite effect. So this has been a fun surprise. I think what I'm going to do now is get this stuff put away into the hobby closet and then take a little break. I might go grab a little snack, get a little drink, just refresh myself, and then we can tackle maybe some of the bookshelves and getting a few little bits and bobs up. And I also really want to talk you guys through some of the different ideas I have of a big reading cozy chair. But here's the thing, now that we have moved the desk and I may potentially be keeping it this way, I don't know where to put the new chair or to put the reading chair. So we could put it over here. This is where I originally wanted it, here in this corner, so that you could have like a little reading nook here where you could look out the window, have the shelves next to you, get a cute little lamp on a nice little end table. But now that the desk is there, I'm not sure how much sense it's gonna make to have it here. I think What might now end up happening is we may have to make this like a little reading nook kind of area. Maybe get that chair for this little corner and make that super cozy, which will be nice because then you can look out the window rather than the window being behind, and also being a little backlit if I ever want to film over there or do whatever. So maybe this is where we put that. And while we're talking about it, before I take my break, let me just show you a couple of ideas of the types of chairs I'm thinking of. So I will pop them on the screen here, a couple of ideas. I was thinking maybe a round chair just to break up some of the squareness of this room. Everything seems to be very square or rectangle or at 90-degree angles. And so adding like a different shape might be interesting. So that the round, those huge round chairs that you can just flop out in. I was thinking maybe of like a nice, like green, really subtle, like soft green color would be lovely. I was also thinking maybe a beige color, but not sure how that will do with keeping clean. I don't know if it'll show a lot of dirt on there really quickly. So maybe the green, but also for contrast. Like I feel like I have a lot of beige in this room and pinks. And so maybe that pop of green would be really nice. And then I was also thinking of maybe doing potentially like a long chaise chair, like those really like rectangle looking ones with the big backs and the big arms, and getting an ottoman with it where I could rest my feet or rest some things, maybe be able to do like a puzzle on it. So the benefit of getting that chair would be to have, you know, the extra ottoman. I do have this little round ottoman, so I'm not in dire need of another ottoman. So maybe we could just pair those two things together. So anyways, these are the couple of ideas that I have for chairs. I'll see which one I settle on. If you have a preference or, you know, think something might look good, I would love to hear your opinion on it, or even, you know, the wallpaper or the desk placement. I'm open to ideas. So feel free to leave a comment on any suggestions for this room. Like I said, it's a living and breathing space, and we're just going to warm up to it over the months and years and change things as we need. It is a little while later. I had a little break, and I think I am ready to now think about these bookshelves. I was looking at them and thinking, actually, I think the first step is to get rid of some of the books that are up there that I don't really want to keep anymore. I need to do an unhaul because when we were moving, I didn't really have enough time to think through what I wanted and what I didn't want. It just, everything was happening so quickly. So I ended up with some books that I don't want anymore. I will probably donate them or put them in the little free library. So I think the first step is maybe taking down any of the books that I'm getting rid of, and then we can see if there are some natural like series or stacks or orders that I can put to it. I don't want to stylize it too much just yet, because here was my thought. I thought once we get all the wallpaper up, what I actually want to do is paint the back of the bookcase. So this part right here where it's white, I thought it would be so neat if we painted that a color, because the wallpaper is black and white, and that's kind of taking care of like almost neutralizing the palette. And then I want to use pops of color with my decor. But how neat and whimsical would it be if I added some color to the back of the bookshelf? So then when you put the books and all the decor, it would like pop really well against that green. And because there's so much pink in this room, I think the green could be a really, really nice contrasting color, especially if I made it maybe a shade darker than the chair that I'm planning on getting, which I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go with a green tone chair. So I just think those colors could be so beautiful in this room, like really light and fresh and airy, but a touch of drama with the wallpaper and the pop of color from behind the bookshelf. So I don't know, I'm just visualizing and thinking that's what we could do. I have never really played with this much color or this much pattern in any of the other spaces that I've lived in, and I just, something in my heart is calling out to wanting to add all this color and texture and just have a bit more fun with this space. I've always kind of played it easy. I think also being a millennial, we're so used to like neutral blank palettes and that being the aesthetic, but I think people are starting to play a little bit more now. And like I said, this is my cozy corner. This is where there are no rules. This is where I can be completely myself and make it a space that sparks a lot of joy for me. So
look out, here she comes, the woman that I love. It's too bad she'll never know. Yeah, I can't tell her how I feel, because she has someone who makes her happy. I'm a ghost in these walls, or at least I try to be. 'Cause I hope that I'm not showing how I feel for her.
I recently also got the cutest little crochet piece from our local farmers market that happens every Saturday morning down by the town center, and I just thought it was the cutest thing. And all of these little leaves are like heart-shaped. So cute. And I thought I could hang it up here in the bookshelf instead of anywhere else, because I already kind of have like a hanging plant on the other side and it would look too weird anywhere else. So just a cute little hanging plant, crocheted plant. Oh my goodness, how adorable is that? So stinking cute.
She won't feel the same for me. I've got this picture in my mind. It's just the two of us, just the two of us. But I know I'll have to try to let her go.
Okay, so that was a bit of a failure because I managed to take 0 books out. I just could not wrap my mind around making the decision yet. I feel like I have decision fatigue from the day. And so what I did was just try to open up some spaces, as you can see. So a lot of this decor is probably not going to stay right now. It's just like a filler item to see how I feel, especially if I'm going to paint the back of the bookcase. I don't, like I said, want to get too homey. But what I did want to do was create some empty spaces. I like the look of having all the books at the top full. What I put up there was kind of my fun romances, the ones that aren't that deep. They're just a good time, like a quick read at the beach, something really light. So that's what I put at the top. And I quite like the look of having like really colorful titles at the top. And then I tried to, in the middle here, include some of my favorite series. So I love the Windy City series, I love the Bridgerton series, the Twisted series. I do love a lot of Taylor Jenkins Reid. So some of those titles I want to make as like my main focus, because some of those are some of my favorite books. And there's a little section over here of a lot of books that I love as well. A lot of like Frederick Bachman's books. I love his books so much. They are some of my all-time favorites. So I wanted those like kind of up front and handy to grab and reach for if I want, because I annotate a lot of those and I love looking at his quotes. So I wanted to keep those around. And then I have a few more that are like a little bit more serious with his books. Just like also the Boys of Tommen series. I love that series, so I have those handy. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the Addicted Calloway series. It was interesting. I haven't finished it all, but it's not, I don't know, maybe I've outgrown them. Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe if I read it at school, I don't know. Something's just not compelling me to keep going in that series. So I might get rid of those and open up that space, but I do love how they look. So we'll just keep it there for now. And then at the bottom here, I try to put some of my darker books, some of the not only like black cover books, but they also have like darker themes. I don't really read a lot of that. It's not one of my preferred reading tastes, but I do have some and I have appreciated some of them, just like the Never After series, is that what it's called? Where it's like the Disney retellings. Those are a lot of fun. And then I have some other ones too that I've kept down there for now. I took out my really big Harry Potter and Hocus Pocus and some of these like illustrated books because they were just too chunky. And if I want this to be more of an aesthetic pleasing bookcase. I think they just don't really go with the vibe. I'll put this in the hobbies closet with a bunch of my other books. So if you have been here for a little while, you know that in my previous study, in my rainbow office, my rainbow bookshelves, I had a ton more books on there, especially more middle grade and thrillers and things like that. A lot of the excess books I've put into the hobby closet because there's some nice shelving in there. So that needs to be organized at some point, but I think this will be a good home for them. And seasonally, if I want to bring something out, I can, like my Hocus Pocus book. When I decorate for autumn, then I can bring that book out as like a little feature piece or something. But for every day, I don't think I really want it out here. So I took some of that out of the bottom. I also have some of my nonfiction books right there. They definitely need some organizing. I need to figure out kind of what system I want to use for organizing nonfiction, if I want to keep them here, over there, or just have their own little section maybe, with a tiny little bookcase over there, just to completely separate them out. So I don't know, but this is where we are so far. I am very tired and I have a few other life things to go take care of now. So I think I'm going to end this video here. It's been so much fun just chipping away slowly at adding updates to this study. Thank you for being patient and coming on this journey with me as I add bits and bobs and get more comfortable in this space. We are going to be here for quite some time. So I really, really want to make it super cozy and super, you know, just a fun corner to come to when I need to find some joy and feel some peace and slow down a little bit, do my hobbies, just a really cozy, sweet little corner of the world that is all mine. So thank you so much for watching today, and I can't wait for part 3 when hopefully we can get a few more furniture pieces and, you know, some more organization. I haven't even gone over there to touch my fantasy books. Those look wild and crazy. So we'll have to do that in the next video as well. And these as well, they're not how I want them to be, but at least today we opened up a little bit of space and rearranged a little bit. So every time we're just making a little bit of progress, and that's what matters. So stay tuned for part 3 whenever that comes, but thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you next time.